Okay, let's start then with something of my own life which I consider as to be very important. And that starting point is, and which I will only talk about my own experience, so that it has real value. It started with suffering. Suffering. And suffering from your ego and everything that you achieve through it. I was, and still am, a very successful doctor in Holland. And at the same time, internally, inside, I suffered a lot from not knowing who I was, no meaning of life, only outer successes. The common story. I mean, you hear it everywhere. And and then the more you suffer, the more you're willing to real change. You only have you have to start with your ego as a failure. Otherwise, why should you change to something else? If you are not a total failure, then you just go on with your habitual activities. Isn't that so? I mean, then you start trying again, the same way. Try to find some different friends, new business, different loan from the bank, whatever, you know. I mean, you try it again in the same way. First, you have to discover that to be a winner materially means to be a loser spiritually. If you don't feel that pain, you are not willing to change. Why should you? So that was my first grace, as I call it. Suffer extension in how you say that, in my personal existence, and suffer in my relationship. At the top of my being famous, my marriage was a hell. And then in that particular situation where I really was, how do you say that in English, with the back against the wall? Do you say that? Yeah, that was the situation. I couldn't find any escape anymore in my, let's say, in my functioning. I had tried everything, of course, like everybody else. So if you tried everything and nothing works anymore, then there is only one option left, and that is jump into your own depth. You understand what I mean? So then a friend of mine said, why don't you start meditating? And never heard of meditation. I've been raised as a Catholic, and I very soon, when I was 13 or so, felt intuitively that there was a lot of hypocrisy in, and a lot of things which I didn't like, and then I already started rejecting religion. And from that moment on, in good European tradition, I was an atheist. Skeptical, relativism, and that kind of thing. Philosopher. I was reading a lot, but no religion and no spirituality. And then this person told me, why don't you start meditating? And then I went to a German Zen master, Graf Durkheim, in the Black Forest, and I learned sitting. And because of my pain, and because I tried everything else before, and because I knew there was no escape, it was really sitting with all the intensity I had deep within me. You understand that? Without that pain, I wouldn't have been sitting there with all my intensity. You understand what I mean? So there is sitting and sitting. Huh? So the sitting may be looking the same if you all see all these people sitting there nicely, huh? But the key to success is the intensity behind it, the driving force, the motive. So very soon, hello. Very soon, I made a jump to the backward in my mind, creating an inner distance between me, who I really am, and my processes, so my thinking and imaging and fantasizing and dreaming and this kind of thing. So very soon I jumped into what is called my true self. That was my first step towards liberation. The first step to liberation is from the situation, the common consciousness is being identified with the one you think you are. So that is unconscious identification. I'm Han, I'm a doctor, I'm come from Holland, and so, and thinking that this is me. Understand? And then to discover that by sitting, you make you make a step. How you say that? To the behind? No. A step within. A step backwards. Beyond. That's what you feel also in your head. You go this way. And if you go this way, then everything that was previously your within appears to be your periphery. So normally people say, my feelings and emotions and my thinking is my within, huh? Very intimate, my feelings. So in order to make contact with them, you have to go within. There they are. There you can resonate with them. But by becoming aware, by making a step to the behind, you discover that what previously was, how do you say that? Previously your thinking and your emotions and your feelings were within, but making a step behind, your inner observer becomes your within. And what was previously within, your thinking, emotions, your desires and your projections and everything, becomes your periphery, because you are here and you can start watching them.